A very good morning to all the dear students. In today's session, we shall learn how to write a letter. We shall learn two different types of letters and how they are different from each other. Out of those two types, today we shall be learning one type of letter, that is informal letter writing. See students, this you have done in your earlier classes, right from your fourth standard. So again, this topic will be an revision topic for you all. So today, before we see the format and the elements of how a letter is to be written, before that we will see and learn what is the importance of a letter. See on the screen, student, what is a letter? A letter is a typed message or written message addressed to a single person or a group of people. Right? Now see, this is a written message or a typed message. But you will see over the years, it is becoming outdated. And because of what? Because of the phones, because of the mobiles, and because of digitalization, and here because of the letters that are speed post, etc. Right? So it is a typed or written message, right? But over the years, it is becoming outdated. But still, it has importance. And let's see what is the importance of letter writing. See students, letters are effective means of communication for helping contact with friends and relatives who live at distance. Though it is outdated method and people use latest technology nowadays to convey the message such as WhatsApp, messaging, SMS and email, still the significance of letter cannot be underestimated. Unlike a conversation over a phone, a letter can be kept over a period of time and reread many times. Right students here? Right? So what is the importance of letter? See, our telephonic conversation or the emails or you can say the WhatsApp messages can be deleted over a period of time. But it is not so in the case of letter. You can keep it, you can preserve it, you can read it again, and this is kept as a memory of the loved ones. Maybe it is your father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, your friends, your relatives, etc. Right? So today, most people they write emails instead of letter. But as I said, these letters are preserved and kept as memories. See children, there are various purposes or the reasons for writing a letter. On your screen, there are these purposes or reasons for writing the letter, and this we are seeing for informal letter. Now let's see the first one. That is when do we write a letter? Yes, asking or giving advice. You are asking for advice or you are giving advice to someone, so you write an informal letter. Then the second one is asking for or giving information. Somebody is asking for information which you are giving through the letter, or you are asking for some information like how you have to fill the form or what are the facilities available. Then coming to the third one, asking for or giving opinion or suggestion, whether I should join this job, whether I should not join this job. So for such purpose or reason, we write a letter. Then the next one or the next purpose is inviting somebody for an occasion. So it can be birthday party, or it can be, you can say, the silver jubilee function, etc. So inviting someone, right? Then the next one is accepting or declining the invitation, that yes, I'm going to come for this occasion, or I cannot come for this occasion, stating the reason, so we write a letter. Then the next one is congratulating somebody on their success, maybe in the SSC examination, board examination, or maybe in the elocution competition or the other competitions, etc. So there we write an letter. And the next one is expressing condolences, that is on the loss of the loved ones or maybe the friends, etc. So you write a letter to your friend, or you are going to see, that is your relatives, etc. So when these are the purposes or reasons when we write a letter. See students, letters can be broadly classified into two types. Letters can be formal or informal, right? See on the screen, you can see the classification of letters, that is formal letter, or it is also known as business letter, informal letters, or personal letters. Now let's see in detail about each. See the first type of letter, that is the formal letters. Now for whom do we write this such type of letters, right? Now such type of letters, they are written to the government officials, business houses, letter to the editor of a newspaper, applications and invitations, right? Now we are going to see, that is letters, informal letters. Now informal letters are written to friends, family and people we know, right? People we know. They are usually written in a simple conversational style. Now they are used to congratulate, console, invite, thank, describe, request, or to give advice, as we have seen in the earlier slides, right? So the letters which we are writing to our close friends, they are known as informal letters, right? And letters, in short, formal letters, they are also known as business letters. Now informal letters, right? So you can, when we are writing a letter, right, to the principal or to the teacher asking for leave, so they will be classified into the formal letters. So formal letters and informal letters. See again on the screen, we will revise about the formal letter. Now see what is written there. A formal or business letter is usually addressed to people we don't know. Yes or no? So informal letters we write to the people we know, but people we don't know, maybe it's the manager or maybe it's the editor, so we don't know very well, or people we haven't met, right? So we are writing a complaint, or we are writing to the editor, so we have not met them, or people who are in an authority, right? So we write the formal letter to them. See, it is usually written to give information, express a concern, make a request or complaint. Now requesting them maybe about, you can say, the electricity, or complaining them about the bad roads, right? So you write a formal letter. Now when we are writing this formal letter, it uses a polite and more formal style than a personal letter. So we are requesting, or we are going to complain, and that should be in a polite way. Yes students? Oh. Students, today we are going to learn how to write an informal letter. Right? On your screen, see, once again we are revising this, that is personal letter or a friendly letter usually is addressed to family members, relatives, friends or people we know them personally, right? That we have already seen or learnt earlier. So it is also known as informal letter. Now, it is usually written in an easy and friendly manner. As we are talking to our friends, we are talking to our relatives, etc. So, today we will learn how to write an informal letter. Let's take a look at some of the tips that can help you write an informal letter. Now, when you are writing this letter, students, include all the important parts of an informal letter. So, we will see that in the format. Follow the format that you have opted to use. Include all the important parts under each part, that is under the format that we are going to learn. Now, before we could learn how to write this informal letter or look at the format of the informal letter, before that, let's see what exactly we are going to write and what we are going to avoid in writing, that is formal and informal letter. Now, see on the screen, students, difference between formal, that is business, and informal, that is personal letter writing. Now see at your left side, informal or the personal letter writing, and on the right side we have formal or the business letter writing. So before writing your letter, these things you have to keep in mind. Now coming towards the first one, in informal letter, you can write short sentences, but when you are writing your formal letter, no short sentences are allowed. So as we go on with the format, you will come to know about it. Now, in informal letter, right? So lack formal grammar and vocabulary. Okay, but when you're doing your formal letter, so correct grammar and vocabulary is considered. So it is not so, students, but you have to take care that your grammar and vocabulary when you are writing is correct. See now contradictions, that is example, I apostrophe D, that is I did, or sorry, it's I would. So for informal letters, it is accepted, but not for formal letters, right? No contradictions. So how are you going to write? I would. Now, when you are writing your informal letters, that is abbreviations, okay? The example is given as soon as possible, but no abbreviations, right? So you have to write it in full sentence. Now, informal letters, there can be exclamation marks, but not such in the formal or the business letters. So, you have to take care of these things when you are writing your informal and formal letters. So, let's start with the format of informal letter. Now, see students on a screen, now there is one sample of informal letter, and at the side you are going to see that is the elements. Now each element in the letter has to be placed in a particular way based on the layout or format that is selected. Right? Now on the screen you are going to see that is the first element, that is heading or the address. Now students, see according to the new pattern, so all this is going to be written towards your left side, that is next to the margin, right? So the heading or the address, right? Now this will be whose address here? The writer's address. Yes or no? Right? So the writer's address who is writing the letter. And then the next element is the salutation or the greeting. Now when you are writing, that is the salutation or the greeting, so what rules are to be followed. We will see these elements in detail one by one. Then comes your body or the message. Now this, for what purpose you have written the letter, right? So it can be in 2 to 3 short paragraphs. Then comes the subscription or the closure, where you are going to end your letter, right? So by writing, say students there, YOUR apostrophe S is given, but according to the new pattern, you are not going to write that. So there will be no apostrophe S. So yours loving friend, or yours loving, or yours, you are going to write here, maybe in some cases that is your loving son, okay? And then at the end you are going to sign off. So here you are going to write put your signature and then write your name. So let's proceed further with understanding each and every element in the letter writing. Okay. Now see, on the screen we are going to see these elements and discuss about it. So the first part, students, of an informal letter is the writer's address. Now where are you going to write this address? Yes, you will write this address on the left side of the page. Now see, I am reading out the address for you. The address is T203, Estate Garden, Pune. On the next line 300099. Then comes the date, that is 10th December 2012. So this is your address. Address will be in 2 or 3 lines, and after that you are going to write down the date, right? Now see, there is no punctuation at the end of each line in the address, right? So there is no punctuation. Where you are going to write the punctuation? Where will be the punctuation? See the second line, you have written the name of the state, right? So Pune, and after that there is an punctuation. But at the end you are going to see there will be no punctuation, right? Okay. Now again one thing, why this is called a writer's address? Because if you are writing the address, you will become the writer. Now address, see, another thing is address must have a pin code at the end. When you write the pin code, your address is going to be completed. Okay. So this is your address when you are going to write down the address. Now next comes the date. Now see, look here on the screen, students, and see the pattern of writing down the date, right? So there are 2 more addresses on the screen that are given. So you are going to choose according to your wish in which way you are going to write down the date, right? So first comes the day, then the month, and then the year, right? So you are going to write down the date in this manner. So your address is going to be completed. I hope you have understood how you have to write down the heading, that is the first element in the letter. See on the screen, you can take a screenshot or you can write it down if you are having the notebook with you. This is the way you have to write the address. The next part is salutation or the greeting. Okay, so salutation or greeting, students, appears on the left hand side of the page, as I have told you earlier. So the heading, the salutation, so we are going to start from the left side. It usually starts with the words dear, dearest, or my dear, followed by the recipient's first name or how you are normally going to refer. Yes. Now on your screen, see, there are 2 examples given. Dear aunt or dear uncle. In the same way, dear Ria or Ronald, right? So you are going to write that. Now what care one has to take when you are writing this salutation or greeting, now see, take a look at the screen once again. Now, dear, D will be capital, and after that, we will write the person whom we are writing the letter. Now, if you are writing to your mother, to your father, right, to your uncle, aunt, or to your friend, remember one thing, the first letter of aunt, that is A, or uncle, that is U. The first letter of your friend, if you are writing, that is Ria, or the first letter, that is Ronald. So, that is AUR is going to be written in capital, right? So, this care you have to take, that is dear, D will be capital. If you are writing aunt, A will be capital. If you are writing Ronald, R is going to be capital. So, there is a comma after salutation part. Remember this, you are going to put a comma after the salutation part. See, now after that comes the main part of the letter, that is the body or the message. As I told you earlier, so you can write this in small 2 to 3 paragraphs. Now, when you are writing this, that is, you have to leave some space from the margin and then start writing your paragraph, right? Now, when I say body of the letter or the message, means you are going to write inside the letter what is the matter, right, students? Now, see, you will be given a notice, and related to that notice or related to that advertisement, you are supposed to write down the letter, right? So, if it is given or a topic is given, then you can start writing your letter based on that topic. Now, what you are supposed to do in this? Now, you are going to explain here in this paragraph what is your purpose of writing the letter. Now, this purpose of writing letter shows the reason for writing. The letter to inform, the letter to invite, the letter to thank, or letter to simply keep in touch with your near and dear ones. Right? Now, as I've told you, the body of an informal letter, it will consist of 3 parts. Now, what will be these 3 parts? Opening paragraph, that is going to state the purpose, the body contents, the details, and the closing paragraph, right? So, it will be in 3 paragraphs. Now, the closing paragraph will be made of an concluding sentence. In the details section, break the important information into paragraphs. You are going to keep the language simple and conversational, and you are going to use short sentences. Is it clear, students? Yes. When we are going to take up the sample once again or one example, you will understand this in a better way. So, next part is the subscription or the closing. Now, on your screen, you have the full example or the sample of informal letter. But I want you to pay attention towards the last part of it, or I should say the second last part, where it is written subscription. Now, next comes after the body or the message, subscription. Now, subscription means, students, here you know you are already writing, and over the years you are writing or doing the letter writing, right? It is the ending or concluding part of the letter. Hence, what are the words used there? Yours lovingly, right? So, you are going to write your loving son, right? So, in this way, as you are addressing the letter to whom, in that way, you will write the subscription. Right. Now, pay attention here. See, yours lovingly. So, Y is capital, right? So, no apostrophe S. You can write yours faithfully. and after that will come your closure, right? So we will take a look at it in the next slide. We have come to the last element of informal letter writing, and see what is that? That is the signature, or signature of a person who is writing the letter. Right, students? Yes. So you have to write the name. But usually when we are writing letters in the exams, so we don't write the name, but what are we doing here? Right? So you have to write the name when you are writing, but usually in the exams you write ABC or XYZ. Yes or no? Right? Okay. So this year now we have learnt about the format of informal letter writing, or format or the pattern one has to follow when one is writing the informal letter. Right, students? See on your screen, students, there are 2 or 3 examples how you are going to end your letter, and that is known as the closing remarks, right? So you can take a screenshot of it, you can write it down and take. Now see, I will read that for you. I hope you will consider my advice or suggestions. Take care. So this is one way where you can add in your closing remarks. The second is, I hope you will reply to me soon. Bye for now. Then the next one is, I am looking forward to hearing from you soon. Okay, and then that's all for now. Bye. So you can, this is going to be helpful for you if you write down and take, and if you are going to take a screenshot. So while ending your letters, you can use this as per the purpose of writing the letter, or the reason why you are writing the letter. See, students, again on your screen, right? So there is one example of or sample of letter writing that I have tried to put, and along with the format, right? So you can see towards your right, that is the sender's address, then the date that is written, the salutation, then the body of the letter, which is divided into small 2 to 3 paragraphs. Then we have the concluding remark, complimentary closure, and the signature line. Now I am not going to read this for you, but I will give you 1 minute. If you want to take the screenshot, if you want to pause the video and write it down, it is up to you, students. Now students, the next and the very important thing that you should know and keep in mind is the marking scheme. Now, in your paper, this question is going to come for 5 marks. So there is an option, students. See, they can give you an advertisement or they can give you a notice, and based on that, they will tell you to write the formal letter or informal letter. The topic will be one, and based on that topic, you have to write, the choice is yours. So whether you have to write a formal letter or whether you have to write an informal letter, right? So when we are going to do with the formal letter, then I will give you the marking schemes for that, right? Now today we are going to see the marking scheme for informal letter, right? Now see, the first, as we have seen about the elements or the format of letter writing, based on that only the marks are divided. Now see, the half mark is going to be given for you if you are going to write the address, that is the sender's address or the writer's address and the date, right? Now see on the screen, again they have said sender's name and address and PIN code. So you have to write the pin code, so then only your address is going to be completed, right? And then that is the date. So if you are writing this correctly, students, you are scoring half marks there. Half marks will be given for you. Then the next comes, that is the salutation. Now salutation also we have learnt how you have to write. See on the screen again it is given there. So my dear, so M is capital, right? And my dear, so D has to be capital, right? Okay, or dear, as we have learned, Ronald. So D will be capital and name of a person, so R is going to be capital. So when you're going to do this or write this correctly, then you're going to score your half marks here. So 1 mark you are going to get it there. Next come, that is the body of the letter, or you are going to see that is the message of the letter. Now I told you that is this will be written in 2 or 3 short paragraphs, right? And this is the main body of the letter, the main part of the letter, right? Wherein how you are writing the letter, how you are starting the letter, and what you can say vocabulary is used by you, right? So you will be judged here, and because of that, this will be given, or this is given more marks. Now how many marks are allotted for this? 2.5 marks, right? 2.5 marks. So how you are writing that? So now it is 2.5, half and half. It becomes 3.5 marks. Then we'll come to the next one, that is the closing. So how you have, that is closed or the concluding part of your letter, right? And then we are going, that is the next one is the signature. So how you are ending the letter. So that will be for half marks, right? If you have done that correctly, so you are going to get half marks. And 1 mark is reserved for the grammar that you are, or the sentence formation, the vocabulary, your grammar, how you have written your letter. So 1 mark will be for that, right? So these 5 marks of yours are divided in this way. Okay, students? So where you are going to lose your marks, if your message, that is the body of the letter, your grammar formation and vocabulary that is used is not correct, so you are going to lose your marks there. So whenever you are doing your letter writing, or whenever you are practicing for it, practice that this message, how I have to write in the letter, is done correctly. Students, I hope you have understood how to write an informal letter, right? Now it is a time to give you a question, and that question is there on your screen. You have to read this question, you have to take a screenshot of it, you have to write this question in your notebook and take, and this you are going to do it in your composition books, that is informal letter writing. Okay, now see the question here. As I've told you that they are going to give you a notice or an advertisement, and based on that you are going to write the letter. You are Ritesh, Rita. Look at the following advertisement. Write a letter to your friend telling him or her about the details of the post advertised. Now, what is the post advertised? Required. A leading construction company required a computer operator. She must be MS, CIT, having experience of 5 to 7 years. Fluency over English and Marathi essential. The office address is given, the manager, ABC, Construction, Tharampet, Nagpur, which you are going to use it while writing the letter, that is in the body part. Okay, so you are going to write that. So based on this, you are going to write a letter to Ritesh or Rita. I hope you have understood what you have to do. This, students, once again I am telling you, you are going to write it in your composition notebook. Now today we have dealt with one type of letter among the two types of letter, that is informal letter. In our next session we will do with the formal letter writing in the same way, along with its format and the explanation of each element. Thank you, students.